Yo, good day, YouTube. It's Friday. I got my procedures done Wednesday. Most of it went all right. Turned into an 8-hour ordeal, though. Really got hung up on the phlebotomy. For some bizarre reason, my blood was clotting really bad, which made no sense at all because the lab work says that I have really thin blood. And they're more worried about my thin blood and giving me platelets than anything else. And so, why my blood wouldn't flow, I don't know. And so, took both arms and 3 pokes and yada yada. It took almost 2 hours to give up my pint of blood. And, but they got it. And the infusion went all right. But I was also informed at the hospital that they're no longer doing the drive-through macaroni test. And they didn't know what to do, what was going to be acceptable. I have to at least get tested once a week, and sometimes twice a week, because the tests are only good for 2 days. But usually, normally I go in on Monday, and I get the blood draw to make sure those numbers are all right for the procedures, and then I get my macaroni test. And they don't know what to do. They're actually turning people away from procedures because no one knows what's acceptable at the hospital. The upper administration, in all their wisdom, decided just to up and stop it. With no explanations and no plan of action. And so I should have got an answer yesterday on what's going to be acceptable at the hospital for the macaroni test. And they talked about home test. Well, that's really stupid because I take anybody's test in. And I explained that to them. It's like, I don't know, I'll bring one in. I mean, I'm clear, but, and then they're like, well, you can't get it done in Oregon and come to California because of hospital policy and yada, yada, yada. So we did do that when I was in ICU. My wife got the test up here in Oregon. They just print out a piece of paper that anybody can print out. And that was acceptable, but now I guess people got in trouble at the hospital for accepting those as a negative test because anybody can print those out as well. So I thought the whole purpose in getting them done down there at the hospital that I get my procedures done at was, it's all in the system. They know where I got it at and yada yada. But I was supposed to have an answer yesterday. And didn't get one yet. And this week, I have to go in on Tuesday for all my procedures just because of the scheduling and the shortage of doctors. And so I have to get the test no later than tomorrow. That's the only thing to really work out for me. But don't know where I can go. And didn't get an answer yesterday. They told me I'd get an answer, but I didn't. Waiting on the hospital administration to see what's acceptable and what's not. But just extra stress I didn't need because here it is, it's Friday morning. And I don't know where I'm going for the test or what test I'm going to use, what's acceptable. I mean, they want me just to bring in a home test, no biggie. I can just bring in the same test every week. I still got the test from Monday. My wife got really sick, and so she took a home test to make sure she didn't have the Ronas. And Monday night we went down to the hospital. We both took a test again, negative, both of those. Tuesday, they sent her home from work, sick as a dog. So she tested again, and she was still clear. And so I saved one of those tests. It kind of looks like a pregnancy test. I don't know if any of you have checked out the home test kit they send. But I got a buttload of them. We ordered all they'd give us. I think we've got like 30 home tests. I got them sent to the PO box plus the home address, which we use. We use both, and so I could get it for both of those addresses. But I don't know. If that's acceptable, so be it. But like I said, it's just worry and stress, and then the phlebotomy, more stress. The clotting was bad. Blood wouldn't even flow down the tube. It made no sense at all. So they want me to call the hematologist, maybe take some aspirin or something the day before, but for the peritonesis, they're worried because the lab numbers show that I have thin blood, and they've actually talked about if it gets much thinner, I have to get platelets, So it made no sense at all. They didn't know either, and they'll have no answer on that. I guess just try again on Tuesday, but I'll call the hematologist, see what he says. I did talk to my PCP yesterday as well, and she's like, yada yada, you need to call the hematologist. I'm like, yeah, but you guys prescribe everything, everything goes through you guys, and yada yada. So the reason for talking to her yesterday anyways was for the med checkup on my meds, and of course the oxycodone's on, it's on the list. So the last script I think I talked about, she basically only gave me 15-day supply and expected it to last 30 days. And of course it didn't. And so I had to really hee-haw around with her and had to really demand. So she's like finally agreed to up my prescription by 10 pills. I was like, that just puts me at 17 days. It's like, now you've left me, to go to the emergency room where it cost me $4,000, for the emergency room visit to get 20 tabs. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, if I can't get it there, it's like, where do you think I'm going to get my, my pain relief from? I'm going to be on the street. You forced me to do that before for 2 months, to buy it on the street. And that still cost me $40 a day just for 4 tabs on the street, $10 a piece for them pills. I can go to Fred Meyer and get 120 filled for $19.95. It's really a cheap drug. And so she held around, and so she finally did agree to write the script. I reminded her that you're the one that sent me to the pain specialist, and we agreed on whatever he said is what we would do. And, so let's stick with what the pain specialist says. He actually wanted to up my dose, and I believe I talked about this already, but he wanted to up my dose to 6 times a day. And I told him I didn't want to really need it that much, and so I was happy with the 4 times a day. And, sometimes I don't need them in the morning. I haven't had any pain pills since 6 o'clock last night, But, sometimes I need them all, I need all 4 for the day. Especially with the hemochromatosis causing the joint pain, the muscle pain. And so it's just more pain, And we'll see. She hopes I'll have 20 left, at the end of this 30-day run on them, but I won't. Even if I do, I won't. I hope she's not watching these, but I have to keep some on hand, extra, because they can make it so hard to get it when you do need it. And, if I have to go to the ER visit's $4,000. And when you figure it out, they will only give you 20 tabs. That's $250 a day for 4 tabs for pain control. And that's a crazy amount of money, for what I'm getting. When I can get 120 at the pharmacy it's under $20, like 19 something, 19.95. We'll just use that number without me looking it up. It's under $20 though. So it makes no sense. And I told her that too, it's $250 a day. This is what you're forcing me to do. But hopefully that'll turn out. Hopefully today somehow get an answer for the macaroni test. Otherwise, I probably won't get any treatment this coming week. You got to pass that test or you don't get treatment in the hospital. And they don't have an answer. So been stressful for both of us. We're doing all right dealing with it, and trying to figure it out, and without screaming and hollering at each other. Me desperate for treatment, knowing I can't skip a week, and my wife, doing her best, and phone calls, and so she'll be home at lunch today. She did go to work today, and so she's gonna have to be on the phone, during lunch break, making these calls, figuring it out, and progression's still the same, shittily stable. And G23, hey, if you make it over here, holler at me. I think you got my number as well. And I'm just a couple blocks from that sushi place your wife likes. You both like it, I assume. But I'm just like 4 blocks from there. And the door is always open for you, brother. And I enjoy having people stop by. Otherwise my day's pretty boring. I just sit here and entertain the cats and dog all day, watch stupid crap on TV. But yesterday we did treat ourselves, sort of, kinda. We paid off our phones here a couple months back. We had the iPhone 11s, so on the payment plan. So we paid them off, and AT&T had to trade in, yada yada. And so we went over there and talked to them yesterday at the AT&T store. And we did walk out with 2 brand new phones, and it didn't cost us anything. And my bill stays the same. Actually, my bill went down a little bit by trading up. And so that worked out all right. I got the 13 Pro Max. My wife, she just wanted the 13 Pro. So, it's something that made us feel good, didn't cost us any money. The bill stays the same. And, it took about an hour to get everything done, but I think that's the first, thing we've really done for ourselves since December, it is, but, so that was a positive thing. The cameras are supposed to be really good on these. I'm using this third-party app, though, for filming the pause cam, just so I can pause it. So I don't know what the actual difference will be between this and the phone. And I'll have to test it. I did test it last night, took a picture in the dark. And by golly, man, you can take a picture in the dark, and I was quite surprised. But it was a good thing. Don't really have much more to say. Just waiting. I guess every week can't be good with all this planning and crap. And July, they're already looking out in July for the peritonesis that I won't be able to get it done over here. And they don't know what to do because they ran out of doctors at Sutter Coast Hospital. They just don't want to work. And might have to come inland, which would really suck. To come inland, get the peritonesis, get set up for, the phlebotomy and the infusion, and hopefully they get something worked out. And they're so short-handed. I think I talked about this on June 7th. I'm scheduled out down here. But on June 7th, they're going to line us up down there. And they actually brought in some surgeons to perform the peritonesis, which is way overboard. I don't really think you need the radiologist to do it, but they're sonogram guided, so that's where he comes in. But to tell you the truth, just an RN can do this. I've said it before, once the radiologist comes in, only thing he does is put the tube in, and the catheter, and he puts that in where the sonogram technician tells him to do it. So she's just a registered nurse too, and so she checks out my belly first, finds a good spot, make sure they don't hit anything, and then she just marks it out on my belly and tells the doctor how deep to go, how thick my peritoneum wall is, and yada yada, and he just follows the gauge on the needle and sticks it in, and that's it. And once the fluid starts draining, I don't ever see him again. And the dude on the bill is $2,000 for that, for him. But a nurse could do it really, and I would do it all myself, to tell you the truth. Just give me a little bit of lidocaine, and I'll just stick it in the same hole. They pretty much stick it in the same hole every week, more or less, right by it. They did move up about 1 inch this last time because they were using the same area. It's just kind of making it sore down lower. And so we just went up higher a little bit this last time, and the last 2 times actually, and just to give my lower muscles and whatnot a break down low. And but we'll see what happens. July, no clue yet. They're already in a frantic mode, and hopefully everything works out. It's just stress we don't need. You go 3-4 weeks where everything's just bam, 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 bam every Wednesday, like clockwork, and then they just throw a big old wrench in the cogs, and now you're scrambling and don't know from one day to the next. Like, I don't even know if I'm getting treatment this week, and if I don't, if they don't at least give me the peritonesis, I'll have to go, I don't know, maybe drive inland and bag, and I don't know where else to go to get one. And, to have to go to the ER over there, it wouldn't be anything that's scheduled. I'd have to go to the ER, beg and plead. I've had to do that before, to get them to stick a needle in me and drain me. And that's just too much. For the procedure, it's an all-day thing. It's 6.5 to 7 hours round-trip drive time. You got to stop, you got to eat, gas and appointments, they never start on time. Never know how long you'll be in the ER, while they hee-haw back and forth and decide if they're even going to help you or not. They don't have to help me. Nobody does. But don't need the excess stress. Luckily, it didn't carry over into the house, with me and the wife, and we're dealing with a lot of this stuff a lot better. So we just talk it through, and talked a little bit about it this morning, and you're just gonna have to make these phone calls and see, Yeah, call the RN down there, which I believe she does not work on Fridays. The whole department's closed on Fridays. So I highly doubt we even hear from anybody at the hospital about what's acceptable for that test. And then we got the Oregon-California border issue. I don't know. But that's where we're at this week. Like I said, still just shittily stable, lay around like beach beluga, and don't do a whole lot. Head still, it's fuzzy, and it was kind of tiring going to the AT&T store yesterday. Like I said, we were in there for about an hour and lose my patience, kind of fast because I feel like crap all the time. I don't know, maybe if I took the pain pills during the day, it wouldn't be as bad, but I really don't want to take those if I don't need them yet. And so these are fast acting, so I don't have to keep it built up in my system, which is good for the liver, obviously. And so I can go all day and not take them until 6 p.m. And I get relief, quite fast with these. The oxycodones is what they are, but they're fast acting, and they don't last very long. And even with a crappy liver, it metabolizes them really fast and gets them out. And I'm at a really low dose. I'm really at a dose for like teenagers is where I'm at. And that's about it, folks, really. I appreciate the help. The donations have come in, not just through YouTube, through other sources, and very helpful. Obviously, I'll never get what I really need there, but as far as helping out with the gas and the medications and yada yada. We did change a couple of our medications, which really confused them yesterday with the PCP. We told them we need 2 of these. We need paper RXs, because we're going to take them to Rite Aid. And she's like, well, how come? You use them Fred Meyer. It's like, we do. But I got the Mitadrin is due to get refilled. And that's $500 on my part, And to go through GoodRx, I can go down to Rite Aid and get it for $100. And it's a $400 savings. And then there's another one, the lactose. That's about probably $60 a month in savings by taking that down there. And the rest are, Fred Meyer's are acceptable. I must be in some sort of weird donut hole type thingy with the insurance. I'm not sure. That I've gotten a couple of free scripts that just, you owe nothing. I don't know why. You just pick them up. So that's nice too. I'm sure that'll run out, but that $500 for the Mitadrin, that's a killer, and I gotta have that. It keeps my blood pressure up because I don't have a blood pressure basically without them. And so that's a positive thing. She understood finally. She didn't get it at first, We're like, this GoodRx is free. You don't have to do anything really. Just set up an account and scroll through there. They list what pharmacies, what their prices are, and they give, I think it's an electronic coupon, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's electronic coupon. So you just take your smartphone down there and ba-ding, and save $400, which is quite a bit, That's a month's worth of gas for me, in savings. That's about all I got. I'm already pushing 25 minutes. I don't know. Time flies when I'm doing this. And we'll see what this looks like with the new camera. That was one thing I was interested in, was the camera difference between the 11 and the 13. And then I'm using a third-party app. But I can save it in high quality, which I have been doing. and then shoot it over to the computer and then up to YouTube and yada yada. But maybe next time I'll try it just with the straight iPhone cam and see if there's a difference. You know, I wish when I used the front-facing cam it wasn't backwards, but I guess that's just the way it is. I don't want to deal with turning the cam around and the phone around and using the other side, which is the better cameras, but the front-facing camera is supposed to be better on the 13. It was kind of crap on the 11, to tell you the truth. A lot of people didn't like it and had problems with it, kind of grainy and yada yada. Anyways, I haven't really messed with the camera settings, but we'll see. You know, I'll probably check in before the weekend's up, maybe Monday, to see what's going on and see if I've gotten anywhere. I am scheduled for Tuesday, a day early this week. So I'll try to kick something out, at least let you all know. And if I'm going to get all my procedures done, all 3 of them, I really hope I do. I really can't go without. And I'd hate to have to make that huge long drive all day thingy, sitting in the ER, and I guess it's a lesson, you know, don't get used to everything running smooth like clockwork, because someone will throw a wrench in the clog. And that was basically the hospital administration that's done this, not having anything in place, just stopping it. And when I went down there, they told me about it. I didn't even know. And they're like, well, people were checking in Monday at the hospital and for the, you know, for pre-scheduling for their procedures, doing like I do, you know, the blood draw and the Rona test. And they were told that the drive-through Rona test was closed, and which was a lie. It wasn't yet. So, because I don't even get down there until 5 p.m. And the RN said that her patients were telling her by 2 p.m. that it was already closed and done. And I didn't even get down there till 5 o'clock, and they swabbed our noses. And that's our normal time. We get down there about 5 on Monday evening and get both the tests done. But sending patients away, it's weird. I'm sure they've got something straightened out. Just didn't get that phone call, which is unusual for this RN not to call back. And so she must not have got an answer. But I'll check in for sure, probably at least by Monday, and let you know where I'm standing for next week. I mean, obviously, I have to have these tests done tomorrow, and otherwise, I don't know. But I'm going to jump off here, relax some more. Yesterday was pretty tiring because of Wednesday all-day affair. Actually down there for 8 hours. I don't know if I said that yet, but it actually took us 8 hours Wednesday. Normally it's only 4 hours, you know, and that's counting drive time. They scheduled everything so tight for me, and it worked out great. But so 8 hours, and then the wife was sick during that time. She just sat around down there, you know, sick, out in the truck. She didn't come in. She didn't want to get, you know, the nurses and stuff sick. They definitely didn't want her in the infusion center. That's for sure. But got a couple of errands ran, like I said, during the lunch break, hour and a half span I had there. And anyways, I'm out for now. G23, get a hold of me if you make it over here. For sure, brother. Get yourself some of that sushi. I'm right around the corner. And you're more than welcome. Doors open. And I'll see you guys Sunday, Monday, sometime. And let you know what's going to happen on Tuesday. Till then, peace out, man. Thanks for checking in.